So what we're going to do is we're going to direct our attention to the area of consciousness where Agni resides. Agni resides as the friction that results from the folding of infinite silence to infinite dynamism, and the folding of infinite dynamism to infinite silence, that loop we've been looking at. Agni is the friction. Agni is also the primordial light of creation. It is the first light. It is, we could say, the first overarching expression that comes from the fold of consciousness into its own nature. So we're identifying that and identifying the energy signature of that. And what I'm feeling is directing of awareness into the solar plexus area and into what appears to be a secondary Mahamarma. It's not really in the solar plexus chakra. It's like we have the three big Mahamarmas, and they're what I'm seeing now, which I never saw before, are two secondary Mahamarmas that are kind of transitional Mahamarmas that are between the other three. So we're at this middle one, and it's running from about mid-gut level up to about mid-chest level, like about up to around where the heart chakra would be. Inside the body. In the body. That includes all those organs of digestion. I'm also seeing meridians clearing from this central area up through into the throat area where the thymus is, and there's some relationship with the endocrine system going on here. Endocrine system being responsible for producing the hormones, which are our chemical communicators. The body's chemical communicators are the hormones and the enzymes and all the neurochemicals, neuropeptides. So this is an awakening of a channel, internal channel of communication. The language of the body is awakening for each of us. I would say it's a download, but it's not so much of a download. A download feels like when new information comes in the crown of the head. This is more like an upgrade. This is a loop of consciousness of self from the finest level of being, looping up into, I'm looking, looks like up into the etheric, even the physical level of the body. And it's through the whole field of manifestation. And it is essentially providing an extended vocabulary for our bodies. This is related to that cosmic soma that we bumped into earlier, that there are chemicals that our body can produce, which are vastly useful and advanced and different from ones that we have been producing so far. There are even modifications on hormones and enzymes and all the different chemicals which support our ability to speak to ourselves physically in a more elaborate way, in a also more simple way. It's like the way, okay, a metaphor. It's like the way we do our energy healing, and I keep bringing in Vedic terms, because there are terms in the Vedic language that put into a nutshell things that English would require many, many words or paragraphs or books to describe, like the concept of Soma or Agni or the three gunas, right? When I describe the three gunas in English, it's a long, elaborate thing. But when we just say the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, something like that, then we're like, oh yes, I know what that is. So there are more efficient forms. There are neurochemicals. There are also types of bacteria for our microbiomes. Oh, I'm excited. Okay, so it turns out that in a healthy microbiome, so this is where one of the great seats of Agni in the body, right, is the gut area. And so one of the great upgrades for the digestion is greater diversity in the gut bacteria, in the microbiome. And there are versions of gut bacteria which are, each one contributes something unique and special for our physiologies. And the way we evolve them, one of the ways we evolve them is by eating certain kinds of foods that cause the gut bacteria already present to morph or mutate and to create a wider, diverse range of gut bacteria. However, that morphing and mutating of the gut bacteria can also be born of subtle food, which means light medicines, which means that as our bodies upgrade the ability to communicate in a more sophisticated manner chemically, this also increases the way we interact with our microbiome. And as we do that, it makes our microbiome smarter. And it supports the ability of the microbiome to, with the help of Mars, right, which is disciplined and decisive, to, because they're also in this environment, right? They're also under the influence of the planets. It allows the microbiome to reproduce itself in a manner which supports a great diversification of the types of bacteria, healthy, good bacteria that are in our bodies, to allow these bodies to move through space and time and to live and grow with an incredible support system. Basically, it's upgrading our support system. The Agni, putting our attention on the Agni, what we've essentially done is we've increased our body's ability to talk to itself about the Agni. That's what the improved and larger vocabulary is about. So what that means is our own experience of folding our awareness back into our own physiology has, I'm just inferring from this part, that has an effect on how strong our Agnis are. So if we limit ourselves, right, if we're too austere, what we're doing is, that's it, there's some of that clearing for people in the Dharma, the area of Dharma, right, because austerity is one of the legs. If the austerity is too much, then we become somewhat limited in the way we self-communicate. I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling that as a shift in the heart area, because that's where we understand ourselves and know ourselves and experience our reality. So that increase of sophistication in the body's ability to produce different types of neurochemicals is that then in upgrading the intelligence of the gut bacteria, which is also having an effect on the heart area to expand and increase our own sense of self. And there is where this lovely thread is connecting Agni as it exists in the body to cosmic Agni. Because we know Agnis have been around since that first moment, right? And it's almost like chicken and the egg. Who's to say what came first, Agni or Narayana? But I would say that Narayana's body may be producing like the Soma, Narayana being a little bit like the Soma that allows Agni to grow. It's support. Yes? Another name for Agni is Yagya Narayana. So he's saying another name for Agni is Yagya Narayana. Beautiful. Thank you for that. Yes, I remember you mentioned that last time, but I hadn't remembered it. So I appreciate you bringing it back. Thank you. Which is all such a beautiful expression of what we're doing. Okay, so here's what happened, guys. We did the healing for Agni. Thank you all for being part of that. May everyone's digestion and endocrine system, and of course immune system, right? Because both the endocrine and the digestive system are major players in our immunity as well. Everyone experienced a great upgrade in that area as we redefine ourselves in terms of our cosmic reality. That puts us in touch in a detailed way with the ability to understand the laws of nature of manifestation in much better detail, much finer ability to understand those laws. And as our ability to understand the laws increases, then our ability to harness those laws of nature also increase. And we harness them simply by the way we focus our attention. Woohoo! So that's a whole circle. That's our journey with Sattva dominating at every point.